And now it's time for the show to start. Now it's time for the show to start. What is going on, guys? Wait a minute, the camera is all centered. Now I am. What's going on, you guys? Fico here, and welcome to the Fico's Gaming Mind LiveCast. We are live, and before we begin, first I'd like to thank the new followers that I've just been getting over the last couple of days. Welcome to the madness, the insanity, and the coolness of the channel. As you notice down below, I've added a little goal here. I'm trying to get to 50 followers in the next month. I don't know if it's too easy, but I want to take it easy, nice and slow. So I've made a little advancement on that little goal down below. Problem is that when you're doing these follower goals, I think you have to create them over and over. They don't update. It's kind of lame. But anyway, regardless, I am happy that of how things are going, up to 40 followers. I'm really happy about that. I have a couple of announcements before we begin our segments. I don't know, it'll be an hour and a half to 2 hours, but now, as many of you may or may not know, this actually is the second time on Wednesday night that you guys are seeing me do this. However, because it was a schedule change where I used to work like really early in the morning. Before I used to go in late afternoon. So now I'm working early in the morning. So that forces me to do the show at evening times. This is in the Eastern times. However, now it is coming to my attention that I might be getting put in a little bit later. So I might have to start work an hour later and then leaving an hour later. Good news is that I'll get paid more. Bad news is that now it looks like it might make the schedules get changed. Now that, with that being said, it's not too much of a big change. If anything, it'll change from the cast going at 8, and I might have to push it to 9. So everything that if this happens, then the schedule change will happen, and then I'm going to change all the casts. So basically, it would be streams that are on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday will be at 9 instead of 8. And the live cast, which I'm doing this one next week, will be at 9 instead of 8 as usual. So next bit of information is I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I've got to go. I'm going to a concert tomorrow, so I'm going to bed earlier because I'm going to end up in work earlier tomorrow so that I could leave earlier, because tomorrow I'm going to go watch Intervals. I'm very excited about that. I got to remember to print out the ticket stubs. So I've got a concert tomorrow, and on Saturday it's my dad's birthday. So my brother pinged me, so I'm going to be streaming later on Saturday, or I might not end up streaming at all. So we'll see. There is an update with the Discord server. The Discord server is coming up pretty nicely. Discord server, I'd say it's about 80 to 90% done. I'm still learning how to do things. Obviously, the Discord server is still a work in progress. I'd like to say it's probably even 75% done, because I don't know much about Discord, so I'm learning how to use it. And finally, I am also I just got Chatbot, so I'm learning how to use Chatbot as well too. So if you're not getting the chat messages through Chatbot, trust me when I tell you, I'll be getting that set up very soon, with a couple of other surprises to make the stream a little better. So, but I'm going to give you guys a gift. And the gift is that if you own a Good Old Games account, you can get the King of Fighters 2012 for Windows and Mac, which currently has a 2-star rating, which is ouch, for free. So, well, I don't know. Actually, I'm super curious. You cannot change controls. The port has some unknown locked controls. That's right. A fighting game for PC. You cannot map the keys unless you use some workaround. That's fine. I ran into that problem when I was playing Legacy of Kain or Soul Reaver, the first Soul Reaver game. I ran into that problem, but there is a way to get around that, and it is unfortunate, but then again, this is probably an old port, so they probably didn't even put that much effort into them, so they do not know what they know. So, but enough news. Well, actually, enough announcements and enough gifts. It is time for the main story of the day. Oh yeah! Aloha! Aloha! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hawaii is sick and tired of loot boxes. So they have introduced a couple of bills that are going into the House regarding against microtransactions, and probably this is anti-loot box legislation. So this story is coming from the Hawaii Tribune Herald, which is titled "Bills Target Video Games with Rewards for a Price." And I think I'm going to read this a little bit verbatim. It says, it might be game over for certain video games in Hawaii after state lawmakers introduced legislation to limit the implementation of electronic gambling systems with the popular pastime. I think that may be a little too extreme. Certain video games are over. Not really. They just have to not sell them in Hawaii, which great. You don't get to make. They should be worried about Germany, but we discussed that the other time. A quartet of proposed bills introduced last month target exploitative monetization techniques in video games that some fear might psychologically condition players to become addicted to gambling. Yes. I don't like when the government is interfering with us gamers, but at the same time, I'm really happy. I'm really happy because this will be a start. The match, they'll be like, you know what? You guys get away with it. We're not going to let you. Because this leads to gambling. And my position, I've already made it clear, but I'll make it clear again. I think loot boxes is considered gambling. Now, while the loot box system could benefit to work on a free-to-play game, a AAA game that you're already paying $60 for, and it's being cut short on purpose so that it pushes you to get monetization like this, is scummy. And they do whatever they can to make it so that you can buy these. But some people in Hawaii are like, no, not anymore. Not anymore. So, the bills highlight a common mechanism referred to as loot boxes, wherein players can use real money to purchase an in-game box of items. The contents of the box are randomized, with some items being much rarer than others and cannot be revealed until the box is purchased. One pair of bills, House Bill 2686 and Senate Bill 3024, would prohibit the sale of any game featuring a system wherein players can purchase a randomized reward using real money to anyone younger than 21 years old. So if that sounds familiar to anybody, this is basically what casinos do. They don't let anybody under the age of 21 come in because they don't consider that to be a good age for someone to be starting with gambling, because they know they don't have the functions and the skills to understand what it is like to lose all this money in a place. An adult should have the foresight, even though you do get into an addictive personality. But honestly, I do not blame Hawaii for doing this. Seriously. This is good. That does not mean that this passed. It's just been introduced into the Senate. Basically, it just means that if you're any EA game or Blizzard, it just means you won't be able to sell your games there. And guess what? I don't think that a lot of players or gamers are going to complain. I think if you want to offer a bunch of stuff to make the game sustainable, maybe you should, I don't know. Maybe either make the games free, maybe make Overwatch for free, and then implement the loot boxes. But unfortunately, if this is the case for Hawaii, then they're just going to keep it. They're just not going to do it because they want to outright make sure that nobody can get these games. Now, the other two bills, according to the article, says that House Bill 2727 and Senate Bill 3025 would require video game publishers to prominently label games containing such randomized purchase systems, as well as disclose the probability rates of receiving each loot box reward. And that, my friends, is great. I love it. This is music to my ears. And you could bet that the people behind this do not like this at all. The publishers don't like this. The traction that this is getting, it should keep going, so it stops companies from being scumfucks. Forget my language. Now, this, of course, was brought in by Chris Lee of Oahu, who is a state rep that has been spearheading the bills. And you may know him as the Hawaiian dude that has been in this front part of Hawaii Senate, who started talking about this. Now, he says, I grew up playing video games my whole life. I've watched firsthand the evolution of the industry from one that seeks to create new things to one that's begun to exploit people, especially children, to maximize the profits. Such games, such as the popular 2006 multiplayer online shooter Overwatch, allows players to earn loot boxes through a relatively short period of standard gameplay, 1 box in Overwatch can be earned in approximately 40 minutes and only offers cosmetic rewards. Other games, however, make loot boxes much harder to obtain, though conventional means, and offer a chance to win competitive advantages, tempting players to spend money in order to gain an edge over their opponents. In particular, the 2017 online game Star Wars Battlefront 2 incurred significant online controversy for its extensive in-game transaction system, which not only offered gameplay advantages through loot boxes, but also locked iconic and powerful Star Wars characters such as Vader and Bossk behind a paywall in in-game currency. And also, may I remind you that they also lied about, they had an initial price in the beta, and then they rose the prices when the game came out. So they knew that they wanted more. And Battlefront 2 is essentially the reason why we have a bunch of countries looking at this very, very carefully. That's what they want. They're scared that that they're using this to exploit kids. And I've read last time where there were actually kids that spent over $3,000 in FIFA. That's what EA wants. Now, obviously, because of the popularity, while such characters could be unlocked by playing the game long enough, thus earning enough in-game currency to purchase the character, players could unlock them far more quickly by simply purchasing in-game currency with real currency, creating a system where players pay to win. Yes, of course. But EA doesn't care. As long as you pay, that it doesn't matter whether you could pay and you will never win. It doesn't matter. They're already winning. So that doesn't care. Now, because of the popularity of the Star Wars brand amongst children, Battlefront 2 and Overwatch are rated teen for teen by the ESRB, online commentators, which accuse Electronic Arts and other publishers of exploiting children with psychologically manipulative practices and encourage them to gamble real money on virtual goods. Now, Lee said that whistleblowers have revealed that psychologists are employed to create these mechanisms. So according to this legislator, Mr. Chris Lee, apparently publishers get people who work with people who have psychological problems to create systems to exploit these people. That's fucking evil. And it's bad. Really, really bad. It's incredible. Actually, no, it's not incredible. It's Electronic Arts. Fuck those guys. Now, he said he has worked with legislators from other states and countries to create a widespread response to predatory payment mechanisms. More than half of the US states are pursuing some form of loot box oversight legislation. And he says, if enough of the markets react, the industry would have to respond and change its practices. Now, it talks a little bit about the response of how they removed the loot boxes because of all the negativity, but they said they bring them back anyway. And obviously, it's a predatory practice. Now, it says here that a GameStop employee by the name of Jacob Dennis said that he did not see any demonstrable fall off in its sales despite the backlash, and that's true. Despite doing a really good job, it's still sold. It sold underperformed. It sold 7 million copies instead of 10, which is great. It still sold millions. So obviously there's people who are just really hyped for the game. You can't stop them from doing that. Now, he says these kids are already playing things like Roblox and Minecraft, and they already have a bunch of microtransactions. I think parents probably just didn't know about it. There's another GameStop employee who requested to remain anonymous who expressed concern about how the proposed bills would cut into video game sales. particularly while game retailers already refuse to sell graded M for mature to anyone under 17. Well, boo freaking who, GameStop? You're in the pocket of these guys. You work with these publishers to get exclusive content to get released in your stores. So clearly you have a stake in them doing well too. So I'm sorry, your practices are none of my concern. My concern is that these predatory practices that are being implemented are seen and dealt with. And I hope that they deal with them swiftly because they deserve it. They are horrible people. Now, obviously, it doesn't help that they're still very profitable microtransactions. As I said last week, there is a like $4 billion out of the $7 billion that Blizzard Activision made was just from microtransactions. Obviously, we need to do a better job. However, I think that Blizzard games, at least Blizzard games, not Activision, Blizzard games at least give you the freedom of at least playing the game free to play, or sometimes if you play a game like Overwatch, they're not hiding everything on a force paywall. Like, you could still unlock loot boxes every time you level up. However, because I know that they can change the randomness of the rarer drops, and they can also change how often you get duplicates, that still doesn't help either. So we've got work to do. But obviously, not investing in microtransactions is the best way, and letting people know what dangers they are. I mean, maybe not dangers, but dangers on how a AAA publisher like EA could exploit them. Now, he said that it doesn't. Some guy said it, like some other dudes called Phil Buckman, said that Call of Duty World War simply is for the sake of having extra content. He says he occasionally finds himself spending additional money in the game just to have extra content. It does bother me a lot. And then you have kids using their parents' consoles, and they're already connected to their parents' bank accounts. Well, that's more of a parental issue, but still, I understand what you mean. Now, the last bit of this story is that it's a $30 billion industry. It's bigger than Hollywood. It's an industry that can reach into everyone's pockets and phones and consoles and PCs, but there's no authority to force them to disclose their practices. Mr. Lee, I commend you. You may not be getting the attention that you deserve, but I am happy. I am happy that you are out there trying to fight the good fight for gamers. Now, obviously, this might seem like it's the government trying to tell you how you should be playing video games. Honestly, a person might use this as a defense. Hey, are you going to let the government tell you how to do this? Andrew Wilson will say that in E3. I bet he'll say like, look, I know that a lot of you do not like us very much, but I'm not the bad guy. The people over there are the bad. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Donkey Rose. Thank you. Was it my Andrew Wilson impression that led you to the flock? Was it? Well, thank you for joining Mr. Fico. He was very, 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 very cool. Even though he hates my guts, that's okay. Thank you, Mr. Donkey Rose. I bet that he will stand at E3 and says, I'm not the bad guy. Chris Lee and the people who are trying to tell you how to play your game are the bad guys. I don't buy it. To conclude, because I don't want to dive in too much, because we have a lot to talk about today, I'd say that, it's a weird gray area. I'd like to know if you're still watching, I'd like to know what you think. Is it too dangerous to let the government kind of have some kind of oversight, or is this something that is necessary? Because trust me when I tell you, These practices are being implemented, and video games are getting strip mined from content. Excuse me. And then, and then you get the stuff that happens in Battlefield. You get very little content, and the game is being quartered into pieces. And honestly, I think it's time. If the publishers are not interested in investing time to make their games better, like Bungie should have done, and just make the game with content that they're going to just be like releasing, like that Crimson Days that I'm not taking a part of because I uninstalled your game, Bungie, then someone's going to have to do it. And while that sounds kind of like, oh my god, the creepy government is going to come in and tell you how to play your video games, they're not outright telling you you can't. This is just an outcry from a politician who is apparently also a gamer, and he knows how scummy these practices are. And I applaud him. We should all applaud the people who have the power to try to do something. To try. They can try. But anyway, I'd like to know what you guys think. I spoke a little bit in depth with microtransactions the last time, so we're gonna move on with, oh my god, more microtransactions. I thought I was done. Donkey, I am sorry. But we have to talk about them a little bit more because Sea of Thieves is going to add them 3 months after they've released Sea of Thieves. Wow, color me shocked. Another AAA game with microtransactions. Color me shocked. Now, obviously, I've not played Sea of Thieves. I don't know if it's good or not. If you have, tell me, please. But apparently, they had an interview. I think they talked with producer Joe Neat. Apparently, they said that this is from IGN. This says that it will not launch without microtransactions, but will add them at the first major content update, which is planned around 3 months. I'm happy that they're at least telling you that they're getting them back. But this is what he said. Our focus at launch is on a great game experience. When we deliver this first major update, we will ruin that game experience forever. Fuck you, give me your money. Oh no, wait, that's not what it says. I'm sorry. It says, that's when we'll turn on the ability for players to spend money optionally. We thought long and hard about what's right for our game experience. Why do they always... Can I ask you, why do you always do that? When you know that this is something you don't like to do and everyone hates it? Why is it that you say, we thought long and hard? You know why you always have to say that? Because it probably is true. Gee, I wonder what people will think if we add microtransactions. What, will be hated by everybody? How much money do people make microtransactions every year? Okay, we're adding microtransactions. We thought long and hard about what was right for our game experience. And the key, we think, is that it had to add to the fun social nature of the game. So anything in this area will not impact power progression, and you'll always know what you are getting. So that means no loot crates. Okay, guys. Okay. No loot crates, but you're still gonna put microtransactions in the game. You say that it's not going to interfere with the game experience. We shall see in 3 months, won't we? Now, he explains that there will be opportunities to earn paid currency through normal play, while the plans for how this will happen hadn't yet final. He suggests you could find items in the game world or receive it as a reward after high-level quests. The first paid content for the game will come in the form of pets. Okay, it either be on a shoulder, like a monkey, or a cat on the ship, or a parrot. Hello, parrot? Pirates? Parrots? Ah! Did you forget about the parrot? Come on. Come on, Joe. You forgot about the parrot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But it'll kind of benefit everyone socially and emotionally. So if I've got a cat, I can pick it up and look at it, or you can pick it up and run off with it. Obviously, when you put it down, it'll come back. What? Okay, I really want to allow us to fire cats or other animals out of cannons. It'll land on its feet. It's a cat. It'll be fine. Actually, that sounds really cool. Putting cats in a cannon and shooting them to the... No, do this. Shoot cats out of the cannon and have them land on the ship on pirates' faces. And you're the guy in perspective, and then all of a sudden, the cat is coming. Oh, money. I just gave you an idea. You can have that one for free. Okay, it's always an interesting topic, but ultimately I have to look at the reality of running a games as a service as a business. Oh my God, there's that other term again, games as a service. My goal and everyone else's goal here is to have as many people as possible working on this and just keep giving people reasons to return, reasons to have fun. We have to run that like a business. You need revenue coming in. Let me repeat that. My goal and everyone else's goal here is to have as many people as possible working on this and just keep giving people reasons to return. We have to run it like a business. You need revenue coming in. Is this a video game? Or is this a video game or is this a casino? Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next because we've spoken long enough about microtransactions. Donkey, did I lose you? Aw, I lost you. I'm sorry. Hope you come back, Donkey Rose. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, let's, this is sort of like a follow-up from last time. It says, Square Enix, we did not announce an EA release date reveal for Kingdom Hearts, despite rumors floating about. So if you follow the Kingdom Hearts news over the weekend, you probably heard the allegation that the game's release date will be announced. This was sparked at a single tweet in Japanese from a user who appeared to indicate the release timing. It was picked up and mistaken as an actual report of an official announcement, including popular forums, fan sites, and even several press websites that did not verify its authenticity. When we checked out the original tweet, it was apparent to us that the author was not in attendance, and it seemed just to be speculating that since the release day has not been revealed at D3 Expo, it has probably going to come at E3. In order to get to the bottom line, DualShockers reach out to Square Enix, which confirm our suspicion. There is no mention of a release date, timing at the show. Can't post source because they are banned on this sub. If mods allow it, then I'll happily announce the source. So you're telling me we might not be getting the actual report? Okay. All right. Well, actually, I think I might actually have the confirmation here. Looks like this is in the DualShockers. This is the DualShockers reveal. Unfortunately, they've confirmed. Now, it repeats all of this. So basically, DualShockers reached out and they said that there was no mention of a release date timing at the show. And so there you have it, straight from the lion's mouth. It's official. Now, the publisher says it remains 2018 at the end of the trailer. It's worth mentioning that this doesn't mean that a release date reveal is impossible, but simply that Square Enix has not announced it. So we have to wait and see when it actually comes. So So they're saying that no, it is not an official release date announcement, that it's actually going to be talking about the release date, but we're still releasing the game in 2018. So, which means you're not going to talk about it at E3? Well, that's something. I personally think excuse me, I personally think excuse me. Okay, so I personally think that if you're going to release the long-awaited Kingdom Hearts, and you're not going to talk about it if you're releasing it this year at E3, I think that would be a really very bad blown opportunity. Seriously. I'd say yes. I say definitely talk about it. But if you're not, then you're missing out, man. That's a good idea. Seriously, that's a terrific idea. If Square Enix has a conference at E3 this year, they need to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, whether or not they'll announce when it's coming out, who knows? Who knows? Actually, hey, it updated. Okay, so I just noticed that the little follower part down here updated. So thank you, StreamLabs. You updated your recent release. Updated. It also changed my ability to to be able to, to see, to change scenes without having to go back to hotkeys. And speaking of Kingdom Hearts, if you want to know what the story is so far, well, let me just give it to you this way. I'm going to scroll all the way here. See this? You see this? All of this is just Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts, and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Look at this. Still going. Still going. Oh my god. And looks like the date. Oh my god, they actually did. Oh dear Jesus Christ. Here's your companion, guys. 358 over 2 days. Here goes. Keep going. Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh dear Jesus Christ. Look, it's still going. Still going. Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Boom. Just. Oh no. Is there more? Is there more? Ho 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 ho. Oh dear God. There is more. You have to go through page after page. Oh. Okay, here you go. So I'm going to include the link to all 3 of these pages. So if you want to know how everything in a story that doesn't make sense, well, you could go over to this website. You could go to N3 dot, and I don't know what that N3 R dab. I'll post the link down below, and yeah, there you go. But do you really want to? Okay, let's just put it this way. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan that you need to kind of go over something, maybe. But honestly, if you've never played any of these games, it's a good read. So, this tweet from Hideki Kamiya, who I just noticed that he was the guy that was in charge of Okami, apparently said that it took a while for production of Bayonetta 3 to be okayed, but now it is kicked off, and I hope it will turn into a wonderful encounter for all of you. Yay! More Bayonetta! Bayonetta 1 and 2 is in the Switch. We're getting another Bayonetta. And I'm so hyped. So hyped. I am very, very happy about that. Very, very excited. And I definitely do want to... you know, for those of you who like Bayonetta, tell me, how excited are you guys that you're getting another Bayonetta game for the Switch? You're getting the 1 and 2 that are running probably at the best they could probably run in the Switch, which is still a pretty decent 60 frames per second, and the game still looks pretty great. I don't think it'll be better than the PC version of Bayonetta 1, but honestly, on the Switch, as a game that you're taking with you, it's just freaking bonkers. It looks incredible. Are you guys excited about it? I am totally excited. Mr. Bone Breaker. Mr. Bone Breaker. Welcome to the party. Cheers, mate. I am so happy that you're here. We are not even halfway through, so... But, boy, we have been talking a little bit here. Nice! Oh, thank you. Thank you. Also, on the other side... yeah. Yeah. This thing is a big, big mug. Like, next to my face. It's almost as big as my face. But I got it as a Christmas gift last year. They sent it to me. My friends Noah and Ann, they sent that to me last year. So I'm very happy that they did that, because this is my favorite cup now. Everything I own will eventually have a Legend of Zelda, to the dismay of Spawner. He thinks those games are for babies, but you know what? I love those games. And I will play them continuously. But anyway, according to Eurogamer, Kofifi. It's a Kofifi cup. Apparently, according to the Eurogamer.net, the PS4 exclusive Shadow of the Colossus tops, and apparently the sales tower over its PlayStation 2 launch. Apparently, the number of physical PS4 copies that was sold 73% up the game's original PlayStation release, all the way back to February of 2006. That figure did not include any downloads of the copies of the game either, something which UK numbers company Track still doesn't, well, track. So according to the rest of the UK's top 10 sold games, we got Shadow of the Colossus, number 1. Ew, boo. Number 3, Monster Hunter World. And another EA, Grand Theft Auto 5, Activision, blah. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, wow, The Evil Within 2, still a top 10er. Congrats. Awesome. I'm very happy. If I get a if I get a PlayStation 4, I will get Shadow of the Colossus. I'm almost certain that game will never come out on PC. It'll never come out on PC. I want it to come on PC. I don't think it's ever going to come out on PC, because it's too lucrative of an exclusive to just let people have it on PC. So if I get a PlayStation 4 and an Elgato HD6DS, I'll stream it, because I've never played that game ever. I know, I'm Ow! I'm actually this close in getting a PlayStation 4. I want to Switch first, but I want a PlayStation 4 too. I don't hate consoles. Honestly, I don't. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to continue on. You please show me the way, Mr. Bonebreaker. Show me the way. Where is the way but the PlayStation 4? You know the way. Actually, I know that it's a great story. I just don't know in details. I mean, I played Okami and I never played it. So anyway, this is a short announcement. This is a couple of games that are coming out soon on GOG. We've got this baby, which is Darksiders 3. This is The Police Part 2, Fate from Silence, and Biomutant, which has a whole bunch of trailers here, so they're going to be coming to GOG. I actually installed the 2 Darksider games on my computer to play them. I have not played them because I saw the announcement of Darksiders 3, and you know, Darksiders, I'm actually really enjoying it. I might start streaming those as well too, but in the meantime, it's games that I'm thinking about doing. But honestly, Darksiders 3, it's a game that's getting very, very hyped. A Darksiders 1, it's really weird. It's like you're playing The Legend of Zelda, but it's like for bros. It's actually not bad. I dig it. It's kind of like a mixture of a bunch of games. It's like Legend of Zelda. It's like Okami. It's like Devil May Cry. It's like God of War. It's a whole mixture. It's a smorgasbord of games. And that isn't a bad thing if it's done correctly, because it's done correctly. I've got the deluxe editions, the ones with the updated graphics and stuff like that. So next up, this will make Nick very, very happy. Metro Exodus is bigger than 2033 and Last Light combined. Now, according to the to 4A Games, it said that Exodus will be more open than the previous games. It won't be completely open world like that of Stalker. In a new interview with Game Informer, creator Andrei Prokhorov and executive producer John Bloch offered more insight, which said that for one thing, individual levels in Exodus will be much larger than anything seen in the previous games. The biggest outdoor level in The Last Light was roughly 200 meters to 100 meters, but in Exodus, the average size of big locations is about 2 square kilometers. 2 square kilometers. And while you might not be able to move back and forth between them, each individual section, it will be completely open. In each of these big areas, there are hours of gameplay above ground, below ground. In general, the game itself is larger than anything we've ever made before, larger than the 2 games together. You can enter one of these environments and you could go up and do whatever you want. There's definitely a story that you follow, and if you follow that story and you only follow that story, you will miss out on the other content of these environments. That means everything from weapons, attachments, and other loots to frozen stories will reveal more about the game. Now, he also said that it was difficult to strike a good balance between an open world game, which completely lost the feel of Metro, and a straight ahead linear experience, but on a larger scale. He says, I think we've succeeded and we like how we make both of them, Metro and Stalker, friendly with each other, but it's still Metro. Players ask us a lot, give us more freedom, give us more freedom. Take it. My, you are a good man. Okay, one more second, sorry. This is family. Hold on one second. I'm gonna be coach of the one second here. Sorry about that. But anyway, it's family. I'm sorry. This is like taboo what I'm doing. so let's pick up. Okay, so basically, it's giving more option. Thank you. thank you. Mr. Bonebreaker, I'm actually super happy. I mean, today it didn't really feel too much like Valentine's Day because it was such a busy day at work. So I'm happy that I'm here doing a live stream of game news alone on Valentine's Day. I'm all alone. No. I'm happy. I am okay. It's hot as hell down here over in Florida, but you know what? Thank you. Same for you. Same. I hope Valentine's Day was awesome for you. I hope that everyone's Valentine's Day with a boyfriend or girlfriend was awesome today. So, but anyway, back to Metro. I actually, so basically with Metro, I've played Metro, the 2033, but not finished it. But it is a good game, and making it more open, but at the same time not losing people from the main quest, because you could run the risk of losing people's focus on the game. So the fact that they try to find a happy medium, super awesome. Very, very super awesome. Oh, I know that feels, so that's why I said I'm joking. I've been alone for so long that it doesn't seem all that bad. It really doesn't. I mean, when you're working so much and you're around people. But anyway, more family. Okay, but anyway, this will make Nick very, very happy because he's a big Metro fan. So I hope you're watching this portion, Nick, because this is all for you. Actually, the last bits are for him too. So, but anyway, let's go to another. This is a feel-good story. It's nice to have someone there for you on Valentine's Day. I actually met who I married. No, bullcrap. I actually hooked up with someone that I knew for a couple of years, and that person ended up becoming my wife a couple of years ago on Valentine's Day. We kind of were at a emotional point on Valentine's Day. We kind of hooked up, and then we just started like, whoa, is this weird? Like, oh, it's not weird. And then it's like every Valentine's Day, it was cute. It was actually cute. It was like predictable, but it was kind of cute. But that was a good times. So if you got someone out there, whoever's watching, including me and Mr. Bonebreaker, we all wish you super duper awesome happiness. But happiness is what I'm all about. Happiness is what we are all about. And South Australia is about to make a couple of people very, very happy because according to this Kotaku article, it says that they are about to invest, they invested $2 million into local video game development. Now, per the article, it says that the South Australian government has announced that it will invest about $2 million into video game development, with $1.55 million going funding new development and another $450,000 towards the creation of a co-working space called Game Plus. Now, it was announced, it was last Friday, and it says that the grants portion of the funds will be a total of $1.55 million, with grants available for skill development, which are 20,000 apiece. Marketing, which is 5,000 to 15,000, and production, which is 15,000 and 50,000. Now, in the later, it's perhaps the most significant, as the production grant is targeted to help studios employ additional staff with specialist skills, acquire hardware or software, or cover other genuine production associated costs for creating new content. Studios applying for the production grant, however, will have to match the funds on a 2-to-1 basis. Now, this is a little concerning because if you remember, Kingdoms of Amalur, how that studio got funded was a large grant from the government. Unfortunately, because the game sold poorly, the government wanted them to pay up and the studio went belly up. So this could be a risk. However, good job, South Australia. You're gonna make some people's dreams come true. Now, this is how the full announcement goes, and I'm gonna read it verbatim. Funded under the South Australian Game Development Fund, or the SAGDF, the strategy was developed in response to industry feedback and outlines a 3-tiered grant program that will grant about $50,000 available, and then the rest of the stuff is listed here, kind of pretty much like Prince, a whole bunch of pretty cool stuff here. But anyway, let's see here. The grants will help for game development companies to produce globally competitive content, execute marketing plans, and create original South Australian-owned intellectual property. So this is sort of like one of those, hey, come to Australia. This is where this game got made, and it's now a AAA hit filled with microtransactions. That's the future of the AAA development. But there are a couple of more things here. This is sort of just going down the showcase here, saying that the government will grant assist Mighty Kingdom with the completion, marketing, and regular content updates of the Kitty Keeper game, which has created 16 jobs. The fund is expected to create up to 500 new local jobs and position South Australia as a national leader in the growing industry. So that's good. That's actually really good. And the last part, it offers $20,000 for game developers to attend conferences and speaker events and to grow their industry capability through training, scholarships, mentorships, and event sponsorships. So the government will pay you, an indie developer, to go to GDC and listen to game industry giants talk about the game industry. Not bad. Not bad at all. I actually really, really like that. So that's pretty incredible. Good job. Nothing bad to say. Nothing bad to say at all. So very nice. However, if you are a member of the fighting game community, this isn't good news for you. Dragon Ball FighterZ player base has already down 80% after 2 weeks on Steam. 2 weeks ago, Dragon Ball FighterZ was the biggest fighting game ever. And now Brawlhalla, a game that is free, that is a Smash Brothers game-ish game, is beating it. Now, it says here that the current player count managed to break just over 9,000 this past weekend, but compared to its record-breaking launch, the most played fighting game ever on Steam didn't have a good second week because it's down 80%, peaking at 44,000 players 2 weeks ago. It's double since its last record holder, Tekken 7's 18,000. However, DBFC has begun to decline in a much faster rate, and this is oh dear lord, this is bad. This is pretty bad. And the reason, I guess, is because like at first it's like it's the excitement, is the commotion, Arc System Games, Dragon Ball Z, and then of course what happens after that? What happens after that is usually what always happens. The excitement goes away. Then your hardcore people are killing it. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, the game loses its luster. Dragon Ball FighterZ was not the game most people wanted. That's weird because, I mean, the game's arcs. I guess. I heard that it was easy to pick up but difficult to master, which is code for we made it accessible for everybody to play. But hey, you know what? Evo's coming later this year. Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z is a game that's going to be featured at Evo over Marvel vs. Capcom, which you could consider that game officially dead. So. But who knows? I mean, the game's only been out for 2 weeks. It's still a game that I would like to play one day, just not super in a rush. Now, this one is a shorter one, but apparently this is unfortunate for people who like Hearthstone. So many people expected it to be easy entirely. Yeah, that's what marketing will do for you. It'll fail you if you don't clarify. It will fail you. It will fail you. So basically, there are no plans to move Hearthstone on the Nintendo Switch. Now, obviously, there were a couple of rumors that Hearthstone will be porting. Now, there were leaks. There was some dude that was leaking a whole bunch of stuff about Metroid Prime being in development. Pokemon was launching on the Switch. There was a Nintendo and Netflix Xbox games passed out. So this guy's been responsible for it. But it says, speaking to Power Up, it says, there are rumors of Hearthstone's going to make its way around the Switch. Is there anything you could tell me about it? There are no plans for it. But basically, the reasons we're willing to believe Ayala is that Nintendo Switch, he says that it doesn't make sense. Hearthstone also works best on a mouse or touch controls. Again, the Switch has the correct control scheme, but only when in handheld mode. Well, then only play it in handheld mode then. Perfect. Do you see people playing Hearthstone on tablets with a controller? No. Use the tablet. Now, I do think that if enough people give it on demand, it will eventually be coming up for the Switch. It's too good of a console. It's too popular of a console to not do this. So maybe this is just temporary. Who knows? I hope they do. I hope they do bring it to the... I mean, I think the reason is because Blizzard and Nintendo don't have a working relationship yet, so I don't think that Blizzard needs Nintendo. I don't think that Blizzard will be like, oh man, we got to get Nintendo dollars. I mean, they made $4 billion of microtransactions and $7 billion last year. I don't think they need Nintendo. However, they could afford to make a game, but they don't need Nintendo, honestly. They really don't. But it wouldn't be a bad game to have. But you know what? If Hearthstone won't come out, then maybe Gwent will come out. How about that? You get the Witcher 3 card game, Gwent. That's a good idea. There's this really touching news article. This is not a news article, but it was a tweet by Dylan, some dude named Dylan, who is the founder of Q Games, director of Tomorrow Children, creator of Pixel Junk, lead coder of Star Fox Blasto, and he says that this guy Isushi, who just retired from Nintendo at age 65, worked on pretty much every Game & Watch He's also the first Japanese person I ever met back in 1990. Best guy in the world. They did make one for the OG Nintendo, I think. Yeah, Blackthorn. They made Blackthorn and the Lost Vikings, I think it was. The something Vikings. Those Vikings are in Hearthstone. No, those Vikings are in Heroes of the Storm. I'm sorry. Yeah, they have made games in the past. But it's they don't have like a working relationship. So I guess that's why. But anyway, I don't know who this Izushi guy is, but 65 years old and working for Nintendo, and he worked on every Game & Watch game. Sir, you, my friend, you deserve the badass reward of the badass award. Thank you for all of you, what you've done. 65 years, man. It's time to call it quits. Good luck, sir. Yes, the Lost Vikings, and for the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, I think it was Blackthorn. Will we ever see a Blizzard game for the Switch? I hope so. But in the meantime, we are going to watch a little trailer. So I hope you enjoy this, Mr. Bonebreaker.
Welcome back.
You see this, guys?
Dante, help me!
Yeah, baby.
It's getting better and better. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to own. Yep, this is again the release, the announcement that the Devil May Cry HD collection is coming out on the new generation, including PC. I own Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition and Devil May Cry DMC Devil May Cry for PC. What do you think? Should I get this game and play all the Devil May Cry games? Should I? Devil May Cry is awesome, man. I love Dante. That's awesome. Well, I will leave it up to all of you. Mr. Bonebreaker, do you like Devil May Cry? Because this says, oh, not this game. I kind of got a little like, oh no, you don't like it? I'm thinking about it. Obviously, I have to stop buying games and have to actually play games, because I buy more games than I play. This year, I've tried to beat more games than buying them. So I have games that like Prey that I have to beat, like the Darkstalker games that I have to beat. But you know what? Playing games like Devil May Cry might actually make some people happy. Some people that like to see me in pain, and some people that don't. So we'll leave it up to you. But I did beat DMC Devil May Cry. I loved that game. Ninja Theory is one of my favorite gaming development studios. They made Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Excelente. And of course, they made Enslave: A Journey to the West. Oh. Okay. You were being sarcastic. That's the problem with the chats. You can't see what they're feeling. But anyway, this is another good news story. This is a story that is brought to us by the BBC. The BBC! Oh, the BBC! Saying that schizophrenia patients are calmed via video game. Now, apparently, that people with schizophrenia can be trained by playing a video game to control the part of the brain linked to verbal hallucinations. Oh my freaking god. Is this another thing that video games are doing to hurt the world? Oh no, wait a minute. This is another thing that does to help people. Awesome. So, according to this article, it says that patients in a small study were able to land a rocket in a game when it was connected to the brain region sensitive to speech and human voices. In time, the patients learned to use the technique in their daily lives to reduce the power of hallucinations. But this is a small pilot study and the findings still need to be confirmed. The research team from King's College London Institute in Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience at the University of Roehampton says the technique could be used to help schizophrenia patients who do not respond to medication. People with the condition are known to have a more active auditory cortex, which means that they are more sensitive to sounds and voices. All 12 patients in the study experienced nasty and threatening verbal hallucinations every day, a common symptom of schizophrenia. To try to control the symptoms, they are asked to play a video game while in a MRI scanner, using their own mental strategies to move a computerized rocket, and in doing so, they are able to turn down the volume on the external voices when they are heard. It says that Dr. Natasha from College London says the patients know when the voices are about to start and they can feel it, so they want them to immediately put this aid into effect to lessen them or stop the voices completely. She said all the patients in the study, who each had 4 turns on the MRI scanner, found that the voices became less external and more internal, making them less stressful. They are also better able to cope with them. Jesus Christ! We are planning to conduct a randomized controlled study to test this technique on a larger scale. While it's preliminary data, it's particularly promising that patients were able to control the brain activity even without the MRI scanning, suggesting this may be a strategy that people who follow the MRI neurofeedback training protocol can benefit from at home. Ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. This is awesome. Now, obviously, preliminary, which means that this is not yet confirmed, or it's not confirmed the work on a larger scale. It's only 12 people. But if you are a person who suffers from schizophrenia and you find it, I hear that in the game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, you can experience what it is like to have the voices be always around you, always taking over what you're doing. But imagine if there is a way that you can play a game to make that part of your brain just kind of mellow down and calm those voices. So that's obviously a really awesome thing. And I'm very happy that they're helping the world. Video games help the world. They may be violent, they may be sexy. None of those things are wrong. Violence and sex are things that are part of the world. As tale of oldest time, they have been around for billions of years, millions of years, maybe billions of years for sure. Seriously, it's a reality of life. And video games, it's just another way to express those two things. So let me tell you, this is good. that video games are helping people. So, good job. Congratulations. I hope that the bigger study lands even better so it could shut some people up. And we're going to talk now about Nintendo teasing the appealing benefits of Switch's online membership. Now, this is originally pegged, it had launched in 2017. The Nintendo Switch's paid services will finally go live in September. We know how much a membership will cost, but outside the access for online and voice chat, they haven't really relayed the details. Now, Nintendo Tatsumi Kimishima and managing executive Shinja Takahashi have teased some of the appealing bonuses. Now, Kimishima said that we view the online service as one component of our efforts to diversify how our games are played and to get people to play more of our games. That is why we want to apply substantial resources to the online service, with the thinking that we will devote our energies in making this a for-pay service. Translation: Nintendo, welcome to the family. You were doing this for years, trying to connect people together, but you weren't making any money out of it. Good job. You finally joined Xbox and PlayStation 4. Okay. So regarding of how Nintendo's plans to popularize the market, they said that it'll offer products that gamers will find appealing. It is less about the mechanism and more a question of what kind of products we can offer, and the spread of service will depend on whether consumers want what we offer. Please give us a bit more time to announce more details about the service. I think the announcement will convey to you how we plan to popularize the service. We have some ideas of how to make Nintendo Switch Online appealing when it becomes a for-pay service, so I think our next announcement will be worth the wait. Okay, so they're saying, let's give them a chance. Let's give them a chance, they say. Okay, all right. Now, at the time, Nintendo said that it would offer a $4 a month for 1 month, $8 for a month for 3 months, and $20 for a year. But it's still not been shown to be accurate. So it could be higher or it could be lower. But despite what you are proposing, you are now changing your mind. You want to make a service you know will make you more money. Of course. But however, here's the thing that bothers me the most is that people will take it and they will like it and they will say, hey, it's Nintendo, whatever. They could do it. Everybody else is doing it. Why shouldn't they do it, right? Right, Boney? Right, Mr. Bonebreaker? I mean, seriously, if everybody's doing it, and it's fine for Nintendo to do it, right? However, here's the problem. I don't think that we like getting locked out by a paywall. I don't think that we like that. We're doing it, we're paying it because we have to. Because having the service without paying what we're paying is giving us less of an experience. But that is only being done because the company designed it that way. We bought it and they said it was okay, so they think it's okay. So yes, they are giving us their money. Well, of course they are. Because you've locked them out of multiplayer. I can't play if I get the Switch. And I want to play Splatoon, now I have to pay Nintendo $20 extra or more, depending on what they announce at E3 for sure, or maybe earlier. Paywalls are anti-consumer, and they're not... I don't see the evidence that this is something that they need to have. And obviously I say it's like, okay, server upkeep, services updates, you need to pay the people. But you know what? I would have thought that the whole thing about the consoles and the games was enough to pay everybody. But I personally think that this is just a way to get more money out of people. Now the Play Pass, the Xbox One Play Pass or whatever it's called, it's a pretty sweet deal. However, you still have to pay Xbox One Live to play these games against other people. So you're paying a paywall, and then to bypass that paywall for playing the games that are locked behind a paywall, you have to pay another paywall to play them online. That is crazy. But it makes them money, and people do it. They are being told they don't have a choice. They believe it, and there you go. All the best features are if you have Xbox One Gold. All the best things are if you have PlayStation Plus. Why? Because they've designed it that way. They've designed it that way. So, are they going to change it? Why would they change it? They don't have to change it now. And speaking of not changing, Ubisoft is obsessed with games as a service. Now, according to Kotaku, this is a writer called Jason Schreier. He's saying that apparently he writes that Ubisoft is obsessed with games as a service. And I'm going to read a few things about what he says. He says, wondering why big video game publishers are so enamored of games as a service? The answer may not shock you. It makes them way more money. Way more money. This morning, as a part of a quarterly earnings report, Ubisoft put out a slideshow full of interesting nuggets for everyone who's curious about the future of video games. Now, this slide might be the wildest. The right side of it, that is. And the right side says, revenue generation over time, base 100. Traditional games, from 100 to 13 on year 2. Live games, they've only reduced them to 52. What Ubisoft is saying is that there is a standard of game. While a standard game might, over its second year, make 13% of the revenue it generated in the first year, a live game can reach 52% with an astonishing leap. Games like The Division and Rainbow Six Siege continue. Oh man, in the public eye long after their launch, which leads to a longer tail and, as it goes well, happier players. Now, this slide is also worth examining. So, the slide says from a game to a platform. So basically, a game says hit-driven cyclical biases, lower user engagement, console-focused, developer-centric, and then you go into the live services. Lifetime value, platform experience, player-centric, except if you're EA or Bungie or Ubisoft or Activision and you make games as a service and you don't make them player-centric. Make them about this. Yes. Essentially, all of this is pretty disgusting because now it's like companies are obsessed with making games, not for traditional making games, but they want to make games to keep you in those games. They don't want to make a game anymore. They want to make a game. They want to make a service. They want you to stay engaged as long as possible. That's their goal. They don't want you to play a game, to buy a game. They're not content with just buying a game. They want you to play this game for years. To put years in one game. So they are basically trying to get the MMORPG model to go through into the AAA development cycle. They don't want you to just be there for a day or two or a month, or no, they want you to be there for multiple years. And it is making a lot of money. Now, I like the traditional games too. And I love games. I don't need The Legend of Zelda to never end. The Legend of Zelda does not have to go on forever. I don't want The Legend of Zelda to go on forever. I'm a big Zelda fan, but even I understand that it has to end someday. But if Nintendo had the mind to make a live service, they make sure that they strip mine Zelda and they make it last forever. I mean, look at Skyrim. It's an enormous game. It's not a live service. So why does the game need to be a live service to keep people engaged? They don't. They absolutely don't. The only reason that they want to push this games as a service is because it makes them a shitload of money. A buttload of money. A truckload of money. 400 tons of truckloads worth of money. That's why they're doing this. And honestly, the more that they lean towards this, the more you're gonna feel that those games don't feel like they don't feel like they feel more like you're subscribing to games. They don't feel like you're not getting an investment. Mods! Thank you, Mr. Bonebreaker. Mods. Why can't you make it work with mods? Extend your game with mods. They already do that. They already allow you to do that. But the mods don't make you a lot of money. Unless you're part of the Creation Club, which, screw that. But anyway, we are going almost to the end of the second hour, so I'm just going to skim through a couple of these here. I touched this a little bit here, and this is a very interesting article from Gamma Sutra, which is the perils of something that is called burnout in game development. And I'm only going to read this part right here. It says, whenever you care about someone or something more than yourself, your risk of burnout takes a big leap forward, says Jonathan Holmes, licensed independent clinical social worker. Burnout is a slang term for when people get stuck in a behavior pattern that they were once able to thrive in, but over time makes them more and more anxious and or depressed. Think of when a car spins its tires at high RPMs without going anywhere, and all you get from it is the stink of burnt rubber instead of your car. But instead your car, it's your brain. That's burnout. Mods allow for the more community focus and creation in new ways to bring in more players. You know, that player-centric experience that you could only get from a games as a service. Yeah, guess what? Mr. Bonebreaker just owned you. Yeah. So this article goes over game development when it comes to burning out. Burning out is not exclusive to video games making, but unfortunately, there is long cycles. game developers can work long hours. They're mainly contractors, but they could sometimes end up working like 13-hour days, 14-hour days. That's they work 2 days a day. I work 1 day a day. They work 2. So they're working like 2 weeks in 1 week. It's incredible. And basically, it goes over this is all of a very, very interesting article, and it's sad that there are 2 pages. Now, it says that the next one is the next page is how to identify, prevent, and recover from burnout as a game developer. But you have to go through what might actually be like 5,000 words, I think, maybe even more, of what it takes. Now, it says, there's some quotes that says, within the gaming industry, burnout is especially common, and that we're ambitious, intelligent, creative, and both North American and Japanese culture confuses industriousness with actual productivity. Very well said. And also self-awareness. And there's a quote here. It says, the most obvious sign of burnout is when someone seems flat and frustrated when engaging in activities that used to inspire excitement and optimism. In a creative industry, if you can't be excitable, curious, imaginative, analytical, intrigued, I am not sure you're actually doing your job well. And it is a sad issue to deal with, but it is something that has to be avoided, because burnout can cause a whole bunch of things. Like production in a game will slow down. Attrition rate in your company will go down. You'll lose people. You'll also lose the enthusiasm, the creativity. You just want to get the job done. You don't care about the project anymore. And ultimately, you could almost see games that were made and all of a sudden they just seem like, yeah, whatever. It's just, yeah, let's just throw all that together. But anyway, it is sad. It causes so much. Yeah, it's very, very sad, especially since what they're supposed to be doing is sort of like a work of art. Artists can sometimes feel burnout. If you're like a person who draws and you're doing comics and you're always drawing and you're never resting your arm and you're never resting your wrist, you'll end up risking getting tennis elbow or carpal tunnel, and you're always drawing what they want you to draw you, and then you'll get burned out. Something that you used to like, which sadly, I mean, burnout could be with anything you love to do. But honestly, you got to know how to treat it, because if not, you'll have sad workers with you. So we're gonna go through these last articles a little more quicker. So it says that Disney might take Star Wars license away from Electronic Arts. Now, apparently, we all know that it was Disney that told EA to take out the microtransactions from their game. Now, apparently, rumors are circulating that Disney is not happy with how they've handled the license, and they may license the brand out to other companies. Now, this rumor stems from Cinelinx, which cites sources close to the matter, which says that Disney held a meeting with EA executives to discuss what is wrong with Star Wars video games, and also reached out to Activision and Ubisoft to see if they would be interested in the license. Now, disgruntled Star Wars fans, are angry, blah, 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 but yes. Now, it says that it could be devastating, but it would be hard to fault Disney to making such a move. The Star Wars Battlefront 2's ongoing loot box controversy has painted the Star Wars video game brand into a negative light, and it has resulted in anti-loot box legislation being introduced. They know this was never a problem until EA made Battlefront 2. So they should take this away. You had the opportunity to make Battlefront 1 good, and you didn't. You make Battlefront 2 into a sham of a game. It became one of the worst games last year. Many people thought that it was the worst game of 2017, and it was wasted potential, and that was your fault. You closed down Visceral Games, who were working on a really great Star Wars single player experience, but of course you're EA, so you shut them down, and now you're making a game that is more of a games as a service. Enjoy your license while you can, EA, because you're not going to get another chance anymore. I do hope that you lose it. Now, this is non-game related, but I did talk about this scumfuck not that long ago, but it looks like YouTube's updates the policies after Logan Paul's controversies, which apparently it results in YouTube making a response. Now, apparently, it's actually gone to the point where, because of what he did in Japan and the Suicide Forest video, apparently that YouTube have been criticized. They didn't do anything. Yeah, they didn't do anything with this guy. But then, apparently afterwards, they did cancel or suspend premium monetization programs with him. Now, obviously, this is what happens here. So, but we believe, this is according to Ariel Barden, who is the VP of product management at YouTube, and he said this: "We believe strongly in the freedom of expression." Fuck you, you do. And we know that the overwhelming majority of you follow the guidelines and understand that you're a part of a large, influential, and interconnected community that we do not give a shit about because money. But we also know that we have a responsibility to protect the entire community from having a creative thought, creators, viewers, and advertisers from these rare but often damaging situations. We expect to issue these new consequences only in a rare handful of egregious cases. So basically what they did to Logan basically was that they temporarily are keeping him from earning any ad revenue at all on YouTube. Now, apparently, the controversial Suicide Forest video wasn't what made YouTube go, yeah, I think this is going too far. Apparently, he found himself in hot water yet again for the content in the subsequent videos, which show Paul teasing dead rats as well as encouraging his viewers to eat Tide Pods. So let me see if I get this straight. Going to Japan and insulting their culture and showing the picture of a dead guy on a tree doesn't get you off of YouTube. But encouraging children to eat laundry detergent does. Okay. Fine. Thank you, YouTube. You did a horrible job containing the situation, but at least finally you give... It's somewhere around there, somewhere around here, Mr. Bonebreaker, is YouTube's fucks that they give for the situation. It took you forever, though, but good job. P.S. Y'all still suck. Go fuck yourselves. Also, the Super Mario movie might not happen. Now, apparently, Nintendo said that they were thinking about making a movie. Yes. To commit. Did he actually do that? Oh my God. Jesus. You see, when he apologized and he said that he cared about people in the community, I knew that was bullshit. This guy is a total jerk. But anyway, Nintendo might be canceling its movie plans. Now, it says that they were going to start going to make movies and that they were going to make a movie with the Mario franchise. And it looks like it's going to get canceled because according to the creator Shigeru Miyamoto, during a recent investors called Miyamoto explained that if the people working on the film can't come up with an interesting idea, then they will call it quits. If y'all can't think of a reason to put Mario in the movies again, then you can... No, we're not doing this. We are not doing this. We've talked together and shared the feelings that we can't make something interesting. We'll just call it quits. But we already met a number of times to hash out the screenplay. Our talks together are progressing, and I hope to make an announcement once we ironed out some of the things, like the schedule. Give up. Just give up. Okay? Video game movies suck. Mr. Bonebreaker, I know you don't like hearing this, but they do. Resident Evil sucks. Silent Hill sucks. Assassin's Creed sucks. Blood Rain sucks. House of the Dead sucks. Prince of Persia was okay. Silent Hill was fine. Silent Hill, the second one, sucks. Ratchet and Clank, even with its animated graphics, sucked. The only movies that don't suck that have video games in it is as if in Revolved. If it revolved. Yeah, they do. They really do. Hitman sucks. Freaking there's a Rampage movie coming out. The Rock. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, Poontang Pie. The most electrifying man in sports entertainment is going to be in a movie about taking against giant apes. That sucks. That idea sucks. The only good things about video game movies is that when they put video games in other movies, like Ready Player One looks very interesting. The Wizard, which was kind of stupid, but it was clearly a marketing movie made to promote Nintendo. But I'd say The Wizard's better than every video game movie. And also, Mr. Bonebreaker, do you want to know? Let me ask you something, Mr. Bonebreaker. I think I know you. I think you know this, but let me ask you. Do you know what was the first video game movie made? What video game movie that they made? Now, I'm not talking about something like Tron, which was based inside of a video game, clearly. What was the first video game franchise that they adapted into a movie. Do you know which one it is? I'm gonna give you a second because I think you know the answer because I'm gonna give you a little bit of time. Excuse. What is the first video game based movie they made? Any guesses? Oh, there it is! This! Nintendo wants to make another Mario movie. They've already failed. Yes! The John Leguizamo movie where Koopa is in a city and then he's like, we're using the Super Scope 6 to fight off de-evolution. But hey, guess what? We're not done because guess what else? The director of the first 2 Harry Potter movies is directing Five Nights at Freddy's. Are you talking about the Super Mario Brothers Super Show? Oh, where Captain Lou Albano was Mario? Billy. Oh my God. Jason. Oh my Lord, they're making a Five Nights at Freddy's movie directed by Christopher Columbus, which is written... It's also written by Chris Columbus. Now, apparently, it's going to go along... It will be produced by Jason Blum, who also helped produce movies like Gem and the Holograms. And he's going to be co-creating with Scott Cawthon. And by being helmed thanks to Scott Cawthon, it means we acquired the we have acquired the rights, and that's it. Now, apparently, Blumhouse has acquired the rights, and then they announced the movie in 2015. Now, he's also directed stuff like Home Alone, which I absolutely love, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Oh, do you want to know what movie he did before that? Which other video game movie he did? Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus. No, holy shit. No, he didn't do anything. He discovered America. Which other movie did Chris Columbus do that had to do with video games? I'll give you a hint. Adam Sandler. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer, Mr. Bonebreaker? What Christopher... Why am I calling Christopher? What Chris Columbus movie did... Oh, he did Pixels. Yep. Chris Columbus directed a Happy Madison production of the movie Pixels. Yep, that was his last foray in video game movies. Chris Columbus, he did Pixels. I saw Pixels in theaters. I wanted to gouge my eyes out. I wanted to take this box cutter and slice my throat. That is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. I didn't laugh once. Every time Adam Sandler was making fun of video gamers all the time. And we're getting more of these. The new Tomb Raider movie. The one with Alicia Vikander. Alicia Vikander is redoing the movie Tomb Raider, where Angelina Jolie was also a part of that. Look, if you can't make an Academy Award-winning actress successfully make Tomb Raider movies entertaining, how is it that you could get another one that has never done action movies to do it? I mean, can you? I mean, Alicia Vikander is an incredible actress, really great. I loved her in Ex Machina. I liked her a lot in The Danish Girl. But you know what? Tomb Raider is done. Seriously. Done. I am done with Tomb Raider. But we're getting another Tomb Raider movie next month. So, yes. There may have been video game movies that have come out that have been better, but that's because they're all terrible. They are all terrible. All of them. All of them. Some are more entertaining. Some had a little bit potential, like the first Resident Evil movie. But it's time to stop. Okay? It's time to it's over. It's over. So you all need to stop. Hollywood will never make a good video game movie because all they care about is getting the name of that movie into the name of that game into a movie. When they make the Uncharted movie, it's going to be the same. They don't care if Uncharted was a great game. All they care about is that they make a game. A movie that's going to make $1 shitillion. But anyway, that's it, really. I mean, this is that's oh wait, hold on. No. Shh. Quiet. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I've got for you guys tonight. I'm ending the stream. I hope that you guys had fun. It's weird because I had someone that followed me, Donkey Rose, and all of a sudden I don't see. Oh yeah, Donkey Rose is there. Well, thank you for following me today, Donkey Rose. You are awesome. It's weird because the stream says that I have 41 followers now, but it says here on Twitch that I have 39. So I have to kind of figure it out. So I hope that I didn't lose 2 followers. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to end it tonight. Tomorrow I actually have to be at work earlier because I'm leaving earlier because I'm going to a concert tomorrow. And also, I'm not going to be streaming earlier on Saturday. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday with my dad on Saturday for a few hours. Maybe when I come back home, I'll stream a little bit. Of course, I'll be back definitively to stream on Friday. And also, I said that I was probably going to get another schedule change. So these might happen later, which means it's more later for you. I'm sorry, but that's the circumstances that I have here. So, but anyway, thank you for joining me, Mr. Bonebreaker. Thank you, Donkey Rose, for subscribing. And thank you so much for everybody for watching. If you like this, give me a follow on the actual stream. If you want to follow my announcements, go to my Twitter. That's FicoM23. Go to my YouTube, where you could go and see the rest of these that I've made. And if you like them, leave them a comment. Let me know what I could do better. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Mr. Bonebreaker, you are a saint as usual. Oh, it's not me. It's my dad who is birthday. But thank you anyway. My birthday isn't all the way till like December, but you know what? It's February. It's never too early to say happy birthday. So thank you. But yes, it's my dad's birthday. It's on February, and they're a little sick at the moment. But my other mom wants to celebrate his birthday, so I do want to go there on Saturday. So my brother, I think he's going to be there as well too. So anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you for the birthday wishes, and thank you for the Valentine wishes as well. Thank you. I hope you had a great happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you have a oh yeah, I will. Thank you. I will definitely tell him. And also have a happy get fat on candy that has gone on a discount. So if you want to go to a store and get candy, the best day to do it is tomorrow. Because tomorrow they're going to have a ton of candy. Oh, and thank you so much. Thank you. I hope he gets better too. I'll take him some candy and some orange juice. See if that works. Thank you for watching. This time I'm leaving, so I'll be setting up I'm gonna keep working on the Discord server, and I'm gonna try to figure out chatbot as well too. So you guys take it easy. Mr. Bonebreaker, have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye.